A man from Memphis, Tennessee is facing a serious charge after a fight broke out in Walton County. On Tuesday, the Walton County Sheriff's Office responded to Beachside 2 after a guest took a pool umbrella from an employee area and got into an argument with a staff member. Witnesses and video showed 30-year-old Colin Ross pinned the 72-year-old staff member to the ground and repeatedly hit him in the face. Officials say the victim suffered multiple injuries. Ross ended up with a dislocated shoulder, and both were taken to Sacred Heart Hospital. Ross was arrested for felony battery on a person over 65 and was released Wednesday on a $5,000 bond.